I'd kill my favorite uncle to smell a wet dog again. Oh, hi there. Today, we're going to be delving into the origins of a useful little device you wouldn't think twice about opening up in a public place on a rainy day like today.
Ooh, a trench coat in a crowded Denny's?
Christ on a cracker, no you deviant. An umbrella. You see, there was a time when umbrellas were considered too girly and, worse, too French for a proper gentleman to use. But one man dedicated his precious time on earth to normalizing them. Jonas Hanway was a businessman and a sailor who, he kind of sucked at both. But as a young man, he did travel the world and got his head noogied, his titties twisted, and his willy wet by an impressive array of bullies.
Ooh, it's time for a game of match 'em up. Can you match the humiliating fiasco, the relentless bully who caused it, and the exotic location it happened in? Wow, that's one prolific loser.
This guy couldn't go anywhere without getting dogged walk through cat pests. He got his wares stolen by an Iranian Khan. Then some pirates in the Caspian Sea got his whole crew britches shitting sick. Later in life, he inspired nearly everyone in London to huck garbage at his stupid head. Getting his ass kicked up and down the globe, well, it made for one hell of a story. And he later made a ton of money off a book he wrote about his travels.
I love a redemption arc.
Well, not exactly. He built his reputation and fortune by being a god-tier weenie boy. People just couldn't get enough of this guy eating shit.
Oh, umbrellas! It all makes sense! Wait, actually, I'm not following.
Well, Paco, think about the masculinity standards of 18th century London. A proper gentleman would sooner slosh around in London's shit-filled streets, letting soot-infused rainwater soak into his stank-bank woolen waistcoat than daintily unfurl an umbrella.
I guess that makes sense. People known for their sloppy wet breakfast would walk around in sloppy wet clothes.
Not being wet all the time, that was an indulgence that only women and foreigners could be so decadent as to enjoy. Hanway challenged that notion, and he paid dearly for it. And here's where the garbage hucking comes into play. He endured jeers from his fellow pedestrians, some calling him a mincing Frenchman. One man went absolutely sicko mode, taunting, "Frenchman, Frenchman, why don't you call a coach?"
Oh God, enough, please make it stop!
I'm sorry you had to hear that, Clocko. But that burn, well, it's at the heart of this issue. His greatest nemesis, well, they were coach drivers who had a monopoly on traveling around London without getting rained on. If umbrellas caught on, they'd be out of business. Things got so heated that a coach driver tried to run his ass over with a horse. In that moment, something snapped inside Hanway.
Happens to me all the time.
You okay?
Never better.
Okay. Maybe in that coach driver's eyes, he saw the sneering face of the nomadic chieftain who took his lunch money, or the diarrhea pirate who gave him diarrhea. Whatever it was, he whipped out his umbrella and he beat the Yorkshire pudding out of this dude. That's the type of overreaction that'll get you noticed. Word spread about this dry, stubborn bastard, and contrarian numbskulls all over England began strutting about with umbrellas, looking for a fight.
See? It's cool to build your entire personality around making people mad.
Well, cool isn't the word that I'd use to describe Jonas Hanway. You could never in 1,000,000 years guess the other social issues he tried to make his thing.
Well, he was right about umbrellas. Maybe he was right about the other stuff. Whoa! He's drier than I imagined.
Why, thank you very much, my good whatever you are. I spent the better half of 20 years dealing with taunts and ridicule just to defend my God-given right to hold an umbrella and not be called a... Can I say Frenchman?
Yeah, we'll bleep it. Listen, Mr. Hanway, my colleague here would like to hear more about your revolutionary ideas.
Well, I do believe that child chimney sweeps ought to be treated a bit more fairly.
Well, that's already kind of taken care of itself, but we're off to a good start.
Solitary confinement is good. We ought to do it a heck of a lot more often.
Shit.
And, being an Englishman, this might be hard to believe, but I have some interesting thoughts about race.
Oh, that's shocking.
They are racist ones.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe we move this one along.
Is that tea?
It is tea. Would you like some? We can share the cup. I'm not that sick.
Tea is pernicious to health, obstructing to industry and destroying our nation.
No, this is sleepy time.
It is making us ugly, smelly, unfuckable cowards.
You know what? You sound like a Frenchman.
Don't make me use the umbrella!
I'll be honest, I didn't mean it. But I'm glad he's gone.